Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time, he wanted to expel the Jews. And Haj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So what should I do with them? He asked. He said, burn them.
What comes to mind when you hear the name Adolf Hitler is terror and devastation.
Adolf Hitler.
He is the architect of one of the greatest disasters the world has ever seen.
The most photographed leader of the early 20th century.
But what if his actions were not just about conquest or building a mighty German empire? Jordan Peterson has exposed a side of Hitler that few dare to discuss, revealing how Hitler's hatred and spite changed the course of history forever. Why did Hitler pay more attention to mass extermination than winning the war? Join us as we discuss the truth about Adolf Hitler's motivations and the dark forces that drove his decisions. Peterson exposes Hitler's twisted logic. Think about it. If you were trying to win a war, wouldn't you focus all your efforts on, well, winning? That's how most nations approach war. You gather all your resources, make smart decisions, and prioritize victory above everything else. But the Nazis under Adolf Hitler didn't follow this basic principle. Here's where it gets interesting. Jordan Peterson just exposed something most people overlook. According to him, the Nazis' actions weren't just evil, they were downright irrational. Peterson explains it like this: if the Nazis truly wanted to win, they would have used the millions of Jews and Roma they captured as labor. This is not to say it is appropriate, but enslaving these people to work for the war effort would have made strategic sense. After all, wars are fought with resources like food, weapons, and manpower, and from a strategic perspective, enslaving such a large group could have boosted Germany's chances of winning. Then, if their ideology still drove them to genocide, they could have carried it out after victory. But that's not what happened. What Hitler did will leave you completely shocked.
Adolf Hitler was a fanatical leader, a megalomaniac who led his country and many others into the abyss.
Some historians believe that Adolf Hitler thought that his mission in life was to rid the world of Jews.
Hitler and the German Nazis chose a path that made no sense from a military perspective. For instance, they poured massive amounts of resources into rounding up Jews and other targeted groups, transporting them to concentration camps, and exterminating them. Trains that could have been used to move troops or supplies were used to carry people to their deaths. Factories that could have built weapons were instead turned into death camps. Even as Germany began losing the war, Hitler doubled down on the killing. Peterson believes that this wasn't the behavior of someone focused on victory. This was something else entirely. So what was going on here? When you can't figure out someone's motivations, Peterson made an important revelation. Look at the results of their actions. What did the Nazis accomplish with their decisions? The answer is simple: destruction. They didn't just lose the war. They sabotaged their chances of winning by prioritizing mass murder. According to Peterson, this reveals their true goal. The Nazis were never interested in victory, but destruction. The Nazis didn't just wage a war, they were waging a campaign of maximum chaos and suffering. Let's dig a little deeper. As Germany started losing on all fronts, most leaders would have adjusted their strategies, focusing on turning the tide, but Hitler did the opposite. He didn't scale back the killings to concentrate on the war effort. Instead, he accelerated them. More camps were built, more people were exterminated, and more resources were drained from the military. It's as if Hitler cared more about killing than winning. Now, here's something even more disturbing. Hitler didn't just blame his enemies for Germany's failures. He blamed the German people themselves. He believed they had betrayed him by being too weak, and in his mind, they didn't deserve to survive if they couldn't secure his vision of the Third Reich. But this raises even more questions. What does this tell us about Hitler's true motivations? What was driving him and his followers to prioritize destruction over everything else? The revelations ahead will change everything you think you know about World War II. Hitler's true motivations. To be honest, it seems reasonable to assume that Hitler's decisions, no matter how horrifying, were aimed at achieving his vision of a mighty, everlasting Reich. But here's the catch. If he truly wanted to create a long-lasting empire, Why would he make decisions that doomed Germany? According to Peterson, Hitler's motivations were about destruction on a scale the world had never seen.
The logical thing to do if you want to win. And we assume that Hitler wanted to win. But that's not a very intelligent assumption. Why would you assume that?
Let's start with Hitler's relationship with the German people. He presented himself as their savior, one who would lead them to glory. But this facade crumbled as the war progressed. When Germany began losing, Hitler didn't see himself as having failed his people. He believed they had failed him. He blamed the Germans for their perceived weakness and became increasingly ruthless toward his nation. Instead of focusing on strategies to salvage the war, he turned on the people he claimed to be leading. Hitler saw domination as the ultimate virtue and viewed weakness as unforgivable. This obsession with strength wasn't just about military power. It extended to every aspect of his ideology. He believed that only the strongest deserved to survive, and that anything he deemed weak, whether it was a person, a culture, or even a nation, deserved to be destroyed. It became another target for his wrath when he felt Germany couldn't deliver the victories he demanded. This is why, as defeat came closer, he ordered the destruction of Germany's own infrastructure. Thousands of bridges, factories, railways, and industries were destroyed. His orders to destroy Germany's infrastructure during the final months of the war weren't just acts of desperation, they were acts of spite. It was as if he thought, if I can't have my vision of the Reich, no one can. He was willing to drag the entire country down with him, leaving nothing behind but ruins. Think about it. The Holocaust wasn't a side project or an unfortunate consequence of the war. It was central to the Nazis' plans. The very policies they believed would create their 1,000-year Reich were the ones that accelerated their downfall. So why did they do it? Why would anyone choose destruction over survival? Well, Peterson revealed that Hitler had little interest in the empire. He was more obsessed with tearing down everything that didn't fit his twisted vision of the world. And when you look at his actions through this lens, his decisions start to make a twisted kind of sense. But Hitler's fixation on destruction wasn't limited to his allies or enemies alone. He spread his evil equally between friends and foes, relatives and strangers. For Hitler, the Jews and Roma represented everything he despised: diversity, compassion, and a belief in equality. He didn't just want to remove them from his vision of the world, he wanted to annihilate them. This brings us to a chilling realization. Hitler wasn't satisfied with controlling Europe. He wanted to tear it apart. He wasn't content with defeating his enemies. He wanted to erase them from existence. His ideology was rooted in destruction, and everything he did, from the war itself to the Holocaust to the scorched earth policies in Germany, was an extension of that ideology. But why? Why would someone prioritize destruction over survival, chaos over control? To understand this, we need to look at Hitler's psychological makeup. He was consumed by hatred. Hatred of Jews, hatred of perceived weakness, hatred of anything that didn't align with his opinion. This hatred wasn't just an emotion, but the driving force behind his decisions.
Hitler did not start this hatred. Hatred for Jews is often called the most ancient hatred, the oldest form of discrimination. Today we call it anti-Semitism.
And as the war dragged on, that hatred became more intense, more destructive, and more consuming. At the end of the day, Hitler was not the master strategist he pretended to be. He wasn't a builder or a leader in any meaningful sense. He was a destroyer, consumed by a need to inflict as much suffering as possible. Peterson described Hitler as the archetype of Cain. How true is that claim? The archetype of Cain. To truly understand Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime, we need to step back from the political and military context and look into the human behavior. Hitler and his followers stood for a particular kind of evil, one that feels disturbingly familiar if you look closely enough. This type of evil can be seen throughout history, but the Nazis amplified it to a degree that still horrifies the world today. Jordan Peterson describes this as the archetype of Cain. So what is the archetype of Cain? In the biblical story, Cain kills his brother Abel out of jealousy and spite. It's not just an act of violence, it's a deliberate rejection of goodness, fairness, and life itself. Cain doesn't kill Abel because it benefits him or solves a problem. He does it because he can't bear the sight of someone else's success or virtue. This kind of destruction isn't rational, it's emotional and deeply personal. It's driven by resentment, envy, and the desire to tear down what is good simply because it exists. That is not all. The logic of the Hitler and the Nazis is rooted in the same archetype. The Nazis didn't view the people they killed as just obstacles or competitors. They saw them as representations of something they hated on a fundamental level. And like Cain, they sought to destroy not because it benefited them, but because they couldn't tolerate the existence of what these groups stood for. Take a closer look at how this played out in practice. Nazi concentration camps were places of torment. The aim was not to kill the prisoners immediately. Prisoners were dehumanized, humiliated, and forced to endure unimaginable suffering. Guards in these camps had free rein to act out their darkest impulses. Peterson noted that these weren't superhumans or monsters. They were ordinary people, given the opportunity to manifest the worst parts of their nature. The camps did not only focus on extermination, they created an environment where cruelty could thrive. The guards' actions mirrored Cain's mindset, a deliberate personal infliction of pain and suffering, not because it was necessary, but because it was possible. This raises a troubling question. Why did so many people participate in this system? How could individuals, many of whom might have considered themselves decent, willingly engage in such horrors? The answer lies in the structure of the Nazi regime. It was a system designed to bring out the worst in people. By creating an environment of fear, loyalty to the state, and opportunities for unchecked power, the Nazis encouraged their followers to embrace the archetype of Cain. For example, think about the role of propaganda. The Nazis didn't just spread lies, they created a false history and narrative that dehumanized entire groups of people. Jews, Roma, and others were painted as threats to society, vermin that needed to be exterminated. When you believe someone is less than human, it becomes easier to treat them as such. And when you're part of a system that rewards cruelty, it's easy to fall into patterns of behavior that reflect Cain's archetype.
Hitler and Nazi Germany were looking to expand. They set their eyes on Poland. Amid all this, Hitler decided to address his parliament, the Reichstag. His propaganda minister helped write his speech, the notorious Joseph Goebbels. And this is what he said.
Guards in concentration camps had total power over their prisoners. They could steal from them, torment them, and even kill them without consequence. And for many, that was an opportunity they couldn't resist. This brings us back to the idea of Cain. In many ways, the Nazi system was a larger-scale version of his story, and here's where it gets even more disturbing. This mindset wasn't limited to a few leaders at the top. It spread throughout the Nazi system, infecting everyone from high-ranking officials to ordinary soldiers. But what does this tell us about human nature? It's easy to dismiss the Nazis as monsters, as something separate from the rest of us. But Peterson believes that the archetype of Cain is not peculiar to the Nazis. It is part of human nature. Given the right circumstances, anyone can fall into patterns of resentment and destruction. The Holocaust is a reminder of what can happen when these tendencies are allowed to flourish unchecked. The CL-1 robot is also very smart. It uses something called artificial intelligence, or AI, which means it can learn and improve as it works. The more the robot is used, the better it gets at doing tasks. It can remember things that people tell it, and it can follow instructions very well. If you ask the CL-1 robot to help you with cleaning or organizing things, it can understand what you need and do the job exactly the way you want it to. This makes it a very useful helper for many kinds of tasks. One of the main places where the LimX dynamic CL-1 robot can be very helpful is in offices. Many people have a lot of work to do in offices, and sometimes it can be difficult to keep up with all the tasks. The CL-1 robot can help by doing things like organizing files, answering simple questions, and even helping with basic computer work. It can help reduce the amount of work that people need to do, so they can focus on more important tasks. This makes the CL-1 robot a great tool for helping businesses run more smoothly. That's not all. Another important use for the CL-1 robot is in places like hospitals and care centers. In these places, People often need help with basic tasks like moving around, getting medicine, or talking to doctors.
Now, one CEO says she has a solution: robots. CNBC's Andrea Day reports on a startup's creative way to give hospital staff a helping hand.
The CL1 robot can be trained to help with these tasks. It can carry things from one place to another, help people move around safely, and even talk to patients to help them feel more comfortable. This can make a big difference in places where people need extra care and attention. The LimX dynamics. CL1 robot is also designed to work in homes. Many people have a lot of chores and tasks that they need to do every day, like cooking, cleaning, or taking care of pets. The CL1 robot can help with these tasks, making life easier for busy families. It can help clean the house by picking up items or organizing things, or it can remind people when it's time to do certain tasks, like feeding the dog or taking out the trash. This makes it a great tool for helping families keep their homes running smoothly. In addition to being useful in homes, offices, and hospitals, the CL1 robot can also be helpful in places like stores and restaurants. It can help customers by answering their questions or guiding them to the items they are looking for. The robot can also take orders in a restaurant, helping staff by making the service faster and more efficient. This can improve the experience for customers and make businesses run more smoothly. Anthropomorphic Qingbao robots.
China's Qinglong full-sized general-purpose humanoid robot was just released at the 2024 World Artificial Intelligence Conference.
Up next, we have a special set of robots called anthropomorphic Qingbao robots. Qingbao robots are a type of anthropomorphic robot, which means they are designed to look and act like humans. These robots are made by a company that wants to create machines that can do things just like people. They are built to be very smart and helpful, and they can perform many tasks that humans usually do. The name Qingbao comes from a Chinese company, and they want to make robots that can be used in different places like schools, hospitals, shopping centers, and even homes. What makes Qingbao robots special is that they are built to look like people. They have faces, arms, and legs, and their bodies are made to move in a very lifelike way. This is important because it helps people feel more comfortable around them. Instead of looking like machines, these robots seem almost like another person. Their design helps them fit in well wherever they are used, and they can easily interact with people, making the experience feel more natural. Qingbao robots can do many things that humans can do. They can move around by walking or rolling, depending on how they are built. Some of them can even dance or perform actions like waving or shaking hands. This makes them fun and engaging to interact with. They are also very smart and can answer questions or provide information. For example, if you see a Qingbao robot in a shopping mall, you could ask it where a certain store is, and it would tell you. If you see one in a school, it could help students find their classrooms or even help teach lessons. One of the coolest things about Qingbao robots is that they can understand and talk to people. They are programmed with advanced technology that allows them to listen to what people say and respond in a way that makes sense. This is done using something called artificial intelligence, or AI for short. AI helps the robots learn from the things people say to them and allows them to get better at understanding questions and providing answers over time. The more they interact with people, the smarter they become. The faces of Qingbao robots are designed to show expressions, much like human faces do. They can smile, frown, and show other emotions depending on what is happening during the conversation. This ability to show emotions makes them feel more alive and makes it easier for people to connect with them. They are also designed to move their eyes and blink, which adds to the feeling that they are almost like real people.
Once thought difficult to be solved, now a remarkable development in the field of medicine has the potential to change the lives of millions around the world. We are talking about the world's first bionic eye, known as the Generis Bionic Vision System.
When you talk to a Qingbao robot, it might look at you, nod its head, or move its hands while it talks, which makes the interaction feel very realistic. These robots are also built to help people with tasks that might be difficult or boring. Another exciting feature of Qingbao robots is their ability to learn new things. They are not just programmed to do a set number of tasks. Instead, they can learn from their surroundings and the people they interact with. This means that over time, a Qingbao robot can become even more helpful and better at its job. For example, if it notices that people often ask for directions to a specific place, it can remember that and be ready to provide the answer more quickly next time. This learning process helps the robots become more efficient and useful. Qingbao robots are also built to work for long hours without getting tired. This makes them very useful in places where there is a lot of activity, like airports or big stores. The future of Qingbao robots looks very bright. As technology continues to improve, these robots will likely become even more advanced. The possibilities are endless, and the company behind these robots is always working on making them smarter and more capable. LimX AI's Wanda robot. The Wanda robot from LimX AI is a very smart and advanced robot that was shown recently at the World Robot Conference in 2024. This robot was made to help people with simple tasks at home, like cooking, cleaning, and folding clothes.
Well, this guy can help. Researchers have unveiled now the world's fastest laundry folding robot. Look at this guy go.
Okay.
It is a special robot because it can do things in a way that looks very human-like. It has 2 arms and moves around easily, almost like a person. It can cook breakfast, fold laundry, and do other helpful tasks around the house, making it a very useful robot for families. The Wanda robot is designed to look and move like a human. It is made to be friendly and helpful, especially for tasks that people do every day. This makes it very good for use in homes, where it can help people with their daily routines. The robot is about the size of a person, and it moves around on wheels. It can use its 2 arms to pick things up, move objects, and even cook simple meals in the kitchen. Its creators gave it very strong and smart technology to make sure it can do these tasks correctly and efficiently. One of the most interesting things about the Wanda robot is that it can work in the kitchen. At the World Robot Conference, the robot was shown cooking food. It can cook breakfast, which is something many people do every day. This means that the robot can help people by making meals, which could save a lot of time for families. Another thing the Wanda robot can do is fold clothes. Folding laundry is a task that many people find boring or time-consuming. The Wanda robot can fold clothes neatly and quickly. This means that people don't have to spend time doing laundry, and they can focus on other things that are more important to them. This feature is very helpful for families who have a lot of laundry to do every week. The robot makes sure that the clothes are folded properly and ready to be put away. The Wanda robot has been designed to help with household tasks, but it is also very smart. It uses artificial intelligence, or AI, which means it can think and learn as it works. One of the goals of the creators of the Wanda robot is to make it a common part of households in the next few years. Right now, robots like this are mostly used in places like factories or special robot demonstrations.
Before now, robots could only replace part of a human job, enough to make coffee or an omelet.
But the creators of the Wanda robot believe that, in the next 5 to 10 years, these robots could be in many homes. The robot's ability to do everyday tasks like cooking and cleaning makes it a perfect fit for families who want a little extra help around the house. In the next few years, it is expected that robots like the Wanda robot will become even more advanced. They will be able to do more tasks, and they will be able to help people in even more ways. The creators of these robots are always working on new technology to make them smarter and more useful. The Wanda robot is just the beginning of a new wave of robots that will change how we live and work. If you think this AI robot is impressive, wait till you hear what's next on the list. Torah 1 humanoid robot. The Torah 1 humanoid robot is a very advanced robot that was created by a Chinese company called Paxini Robots. It is designed to look like a human and perform many tasks that can help people in their daily lives. The Torah 1 robot has a body that looks and moves like a person. It has arms, legs, and a head, and it can do things like walk, talk, and pick things up. Because it is built to resemble a human, it can do many different types of work, making it helpful in both homes and workplaces. The design of the Torah 1 robot allows it to handle tasks that require careful movements, making it a great helper in various situations. One of the best things about the Torah 1 humanoid robot is its ability to communicate with people in a very lifelike way. The robot can listen to what people say and respond by speaking back in a way that makes sense. This makes interacting with the robot feel very natural, almost like talking to another person. The Torah 1 robot can answer questions, give advice, and even have conversations with people. It can recognize faces, which means it remembers people it has met before and can greet them by name. This ability makes the robot useful in places where it needs to talk with people a lot, like in customer service or public spaces. The Torah 1 robot is also very skilled at moving in ways that are very close to how humans move. Paxini Robots designed the Torah 1 to be strong and durable, so it can work for a long time without breaking down. Another feature that makes the Torah 1 humanoid robot stand out is its ability to learn. The robot is equipped with artificial intelligence, or AI.
Hello, everyone. I'm an English artificial intelligence anchor. This is my very first day in Xingwan's agency,
which allows it to learn from the tasks it does and get better over time. The Torah 1 humanoid robot is designed to be friendly and approachable, which helps people feel more comfortable around it. The robot has a face that can show different expressions, like smiling or looking curious, which makes it easier for people to connect with it. This friendly design is especially important for people who might feel nervous or unsure around robots. The Torah 1 robot is often used in places where people need help, like schools, hospitals, or public service centers, because its approachable nature makes it easier for people to ask for help. Its ability to interact in a friendly manner makes it a great assistant in many places. In homes, the Torah 1 humanoid robot can help families with a variety of daily tasks. It can vacuum the floors, cook simple meals, or remind people to take their medication. For elderly people or those with disabilities, the Torah 1 robot can assist with tasks that may be difficult for them, such as lifting objects or doing household chores. This makes it a very helpful tool in homes where extra assistance is needed. Paxini Robots designed the Torah 1 to be very versatile, so it can be used in many different ways to improve people's quality of life. Quavo humanoid robot. Two renowned Chinese robot companies, Haier Robot and Leju Robot, might have outdone themselves with the new iconic robot that is Quavo. The Quavo humanoid robot was first shown to the public at an event called AWE 2024. Quavo is special because it is China's first open-source humanoid robot that uses a system called Hongmeng. This means that other people can also use and improve its software. Quavo is designed for families and can be very helpful in homes. One of the amazing things about Quavo is its ability to move. It can jump and walk on different types of ground. This is important because not all homes have the same kind of floor. Some homes have carpet, while others have tiles or wood. Quavo can move easily on all these surfaces. This means it can go wherever it is needed in the house. It can walk outside on grass or even on uneven ground. This makes it very versatile and useful for many tasks around the home. The Quavo robot can do many different jobs that make life easier for families. Instead of having to do all the laundry by hand, families can let Quavo take care of it. Quavo knows how to sort the clothes and put them in the washing machine. After the clothes are clean, it can also help by drying them.
If you think about it, you have so many types of items in your laundry and so many fabric types, and you need to make a technology that will handle all of them together.
This means families have more time to do other things they enjoy, like spending time together or playing games. Another great feature of Quavo is that it can help take care of plants. Many people love to have plants in their homes, but sometimes they forget to water them. Quavo can help with this task. It knows when the flowers need water and can take care of them without needing reminders from people. This is very helpful for people who have busy lives and want to make sure their plants stay healthy and happy. Having a robot to take care of plants can make home life a lot more enjoyable. Quavo is also designed to be user-friendly. This means that anyone can learn how to use it without much trouble. The robot has a friendly appearance, which helps people feel comfortable around it. It can interact with family members, listen to their commands, and respond in a way that is easy to understand. In addition to all these tasks, Quavo can also entertain. It can play games with family members or even tell stories. This makes it a fun addition to the household. Children, in particular, might enjoy having a robot that can play with them or help them with their homework. Quavo can be programmed to play educational games that can help kids learn while having fun. Just like the other robots on this list, Quavo represents a step forward in the world of smart home technology. As technology continues to improve, we can expect to see more robots like Quavo in homes around the world. So, which of these Chinese humanoid robots do you think will dominate the robot market? Let us know in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.